Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you're watching me from. My name is Dr. Obioramba Iboweze, reaching you from Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University. Today's date is Oye Market Day in the 8th month of the Igbo lunar calendar called Onwa Ilomo, and in the Roman Catholic calendar, today's date is September 12th, 2024. Remember, at Nkolo Mahadum, we encourage you to use your naturally given common sense called akonuche to evaluate all the information you are getting every day before you determine which one to believe or follow. And we also encourage you to understand our lectures and take action. Nkolo Mahadum Wisdom University is where we present issues from Biafran and African perspectives, from how things affect you. Very, 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 very important. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, like our program, comment, and share it to your friends and well-wishers. Nkolo Mahadum is for everyone. It's for Biafrans and all Africans. The title of today's lecture is Ethiopia celebrated their New Year on September 11, 2024. It's a call for all Africans to follow their own calendar. Ethiopia New Year celebration is a call for all Africans to follow their own calendar. And the year they are celebrating is 2017. They are still 7 to 8 years behind. And the name of this their New Year celebration is called Enkutash, which means gift of jewels in their language. You know the language they speak in Ethiopia mainly, their official language is Amharic. It's not English. They speak and write Amharic. It is very, very important that you know that. And the Ethiopian calendar is also based on the Julian calendar, which was introduced by Julius Caesar. You know, Julius Caesar was the Roman general, you know. It was introduced by Julius Caesar in 46 BC. BC means before the Roman Catholic started to count their own calendar, before the Christian calendar. In the Julian calendar, which the Ethiopians are following, is made up of 365 days. But every fourth year, you have 366 days. It is very important that you know that the year they celebrated, the New Year they celebrated, is for the year of 2017. And it is behind 7 to 8 years behind the Gregorian calendar. You know that the Gregorian calendar is the Roman Catholic calendar. So it's 7 to 8 years behind. And the difference is because of the calculation of birth of Jesus. As you know, that the Orthodox Church is the one that is mainly practiced in Ethiopia. And so that could be the reason for the difference of the counting. And we want to also let you know that human beings have used three major calendars. The calendars being used by humans that have been used by humans are solar calendar, lunar calendar, and lunisolar calendars. And you know that we have so many calendars in practice. Many people use the lunar calendar, like in Biafra land, we use lunar calendar. Also, majority of the countries in Asia and almost all the Muslim countries, they also use the lunar calendar. And this is why this lecture is very important, that you know that we, Biafrans, going back to our own calendar, the way the calendar of our ancestors is the best thing for us. Because as you can tell from the Ethiopian New Year celebrations, they are proud of their New Year, even though it was being celebrated on the 11th of September of the Gregorian calendar. It's being celebrated on the 11th. Remember, in the Gregorian calendar, you celebrate New Year, 1st of January. But in this case, they are happy, they are celebrating their New Year on the 11th of September. You see that? So that is why it's very, very, very important that whatever you are doing, you go by the ones laid down for you, given to you by your ancestors, the ones you believe in. And that is why this lecture is very, very important for you to know. That the importance, the climax, what makes it interesting is that the Ethiopian people did not transition to the Gregorian calendar and say, oh, now let's follow this calendar now. Because that's the one that many people are using, including the colonies. They didn't do that. They stuck with their own, even though they are still in 2017. Even though the Gregorian calendar is telling you that you are in 2024, the Ethiopian calendar is telling them that they are in 2017. So it doesn't make any difference how you're counting it. And it is very important that every Africans see things in this way. Every Biafran and Africans should be seeing things from Biafran and African perspective, that you shouldn't follow the colonial style. The colonial style is not the best style. The best style is your own, as laid down by your ancestors. And some of the disadvantages most Africans have by not following their own calendar is that it is loss of identity. For example, if we are counting our calendar by the way our ancestors had laid down, for example, in Biafra land, where we follow like Eke, Oye, Abo, Nkwo, 4 market days. And then the 4 market day is called Izu. And then Izu Nabo, Izu Nato, Izu Nano, and so on and so forth. And also in the month counting, in the month counting. For example, this month, we're supposed to be counting Onwa Ilomwo. Onwa Ilomo. Assuming Onwa Ilomo is what we are using all over Biafra land, everywhere we are. If somebody asks you, what is this month? You tell him it's Onwa Ilomo from our own culture, before you then translate to the Western culture, which is the Roman Catholic calendar. You will maintain your identity. It gives you identity. And that identity is important. So that is one thing we are losing by not following our calendar. Another thing we are losing is lack of holidays to promote our culture and identity. For example, if we are following our lunar calendar, some of the celebrations we do in our land, like Iriji, for example, Iriji now will be a holiday for many communities, as it fell in communities. If it's Oka, for example, that is celebrating Iriji, the government will give them holiday. There'll be holiday for workers. Workers will be paid for that day, and it will be also a tourist event, you know? And so holidays should have been tied to a lot of our culture instead of vice versa, what we have right now. And so lack of holidays to promote our culture and identity are some of the things we are losing by not following our culture. And therefore, on the other hand, by following a foreign calendar like the Gregorian calendar, which we are following right now, we are indirectly following foreign culture. We are also indirectly celebrating and promoting embedded foreign holidays, like all the Christmas and Easter and all those things associated with that calendar. And so these are the things Nkola Mahadum wants you to know, because you have to be seeing things from how it affects you, from your own identity. This is very important. That is why Nkola Mahadum Wisdom University have taught that the celebration of Ethiopian New Year, which was done yesterday, that we cannot just leave it to go away without presenting it to you in this university, for you to know that it is important for you to maintain your culture and your way of life. And so before we continue, we have to beg you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our program, comment, share, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And like we said, we have to be keeping things short. What you have to take away from today's lecture is that the celebration of Ethiopian New Year, which was done on the 11th of September, is remarkable. Plus, they are celebrating the year 2017. It's remarkable. It should be remarkable to you. And then it has its own name. It's called Enkotash in their own language, which means gift of joys in Amharic. Amharic is their language. Their language is not English, it's their own language, Amharic. That is the official language in Ethiopia. If Amharic is the official language in Ethiopia, what is the official language in your community, in your town, in your state, in your country, in Biafra and Africa? What is yours? Is your official language English? Is English your language? So we have a lot to learn from the Ethiopian experience. Finally, what we lack, what Africans lack by not following their own calendar as laid down by our ancestors, includes loss of identity. Loss of identity. We lose our identity by following a foreign Gregorian calendar. If we are following our own calendar, somebody asks you, what is today's date? You say today's date is Orie Market Day. That gives you identity. Somebody asks you, what's the month? What is the month you are in? You say the month we are in is Onwa Ilomo. That gives you identity. That's what we need in Africa. Somebody like Ethiopia that have their own language, you have your own language. You don't have to be following the English foreign language. So we lose our identity by following foreign colonial calendars. Also, by not following our own calendar, we lose all the holidays that's supposed to be coming with it, with government paying for the workers and promoting those cultural events like Iriji, like Biafra Memorial Day, and so many others. And some masquerade events, which is our culture, supposed to be celebrated, and government provide holidays for workers. And then finally, by following foreign calendar, we are indirectly promoting their calendar, their culture, and all the holidays embedded in those calendar, like Christmas, Easter, and others. Africans, go back to your way of life as laid down by your ancestors. That's the lesson we have to learn from Ethiopia. And with this, we shall be bringing today's lecture to an end. But before we end it, I have to ask you to please, all Africans should rise up to dismantle all the colonial boundaries in Africa, because they are the foundation for all the diseases, all the conflicts, all the poverty that we have in Africa. If we cannot go to Europe and say, you are one country, why should we continue to allow them to come to what they did many years ago to continue? In many African, what they call countries, are different cultures. Those colonial boundaries have to be broken so that our people can be free and reorganize themselves for development and betterment of all Africans. And with this, we shall be bringing today's lecture to an end. Thank you very much for being with us.